The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council station sparkled like a jewel against the backdrop of swirling purple nebula clouds. Inside, Ambassador James Stone adjusted his plain black tie, a simple gesture that helped calm his racing heart. After 3 years of searching, he had finally found the proof he needed. Stone walked through the grand hallway, his footsteps echoing off the polished marble floors. Alien diplomats from 100 worlds moved around him, some floating, others crawling, many walking on 2 or more legs. None of them paid much attention to the human ambassador, and that was exactly how he wanted it. In his pocket, a small data chip felt heavy with the weight of its contents. 300 years of lies, all documented in perfect detail. The Council hadn't just been watching Earth, they had been actively holding humanity back. Ambassador Stone, a voice called out. The Council session begins in 10 minutes. Stone turned to face his assistant, Robert White, a young man with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. Good, everything ready. White nodded, his face serious. The presentation is loaded. But sir, are you sure about this? Once we show this evidence. They've been sabotaging Earth since we discovered fire, Stone said quietly. Every major disaster, every setback, it was them. The Dark Ages, Council interference, the loss of the Library of Alexandria, Council agents, even the delays in our space program, all carefully planned to keep us weak and contained. The Grand Council chamber doors loomed before them, their surfaces carved with scenes of galactic unity and peace. Stone almost laughed at the irony. Behind those doors sat the representatives of the races that had conspired to keep humanity down for centuries. As they entered the chamber, Stone saw the usual faces. The tall, crystalline form of the council speaker dominated the central podium. Around the circular chamber, representatives from the founding races sat in their elevated seats. The blue-skinned traders, the insectoid builders, the energy form thinkers, and dozens more. The Council recognizes Ambassador James Stone of Earth, the speaker announced, its voice resonating through the chamber. You have requested this special session to present new findings. Stone stepped up to the presentation podium, his movements calm and measured. The data chip slid smoothly into the reader. Yes, Speaker. I've come to share some interesting historical records with the Council. The first images appeared in the air above the chamber. Ancient cave paintings, carefully altered. Egyptian hieroglyphs, subtly changed. Greek texts, deliberately mistranslated. And behind each alteration, the unmistakable energy signatures of Council technology. For 3 centuries, Stone continued, his voice steady, members of this Council have systematically interfered with Earth's development. You've shaped our wars, stunted our growth, and murdered our pioneers. Shocked murmurs filled the chamber. The speaker's crystalline form flickered with alarm. These are serious accusations, Ambassador. Do you have proof? Stone's finger pressed the next button. Proof. I have thousands of documents. Mission reports, agent assignments, casualty lists. Would you like to see the orders for the destruction of Atlantis, or perhaps the carefully planned crash at Roswell? This is outrageous. The builder representative chittered. The human clearly fabricated these records. Every document, Stone continued, raising his voice slightly, is authenticated with Council security codes. Your own protocols prove your guilt. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted, argued, some trying to deny, others demanding explanations. Stone stood calmly at the podium, watching it all unfold. The speaker's voice cut through the noise like a laser. This session is suspended. Guards, detain the human ambassador. He clearly means to disrupt Council peace with these fabrications. As armored security drones approached the podium, Stone allowed himself a small smile. His hand moved to his collar, pressing a hidden button. Back on Earth, in secure bunkers deep beneath the surface, computers would be receiving his signal. Operation Ghost Protocol was now active. The guards reached for him, their energy restraints humming. Stone didn't resist. He had done his part. Now it was humanity's turn to show the galaxy exactly how primitive they weren't. "You should have left us alone," he said quietly as they led him away. "You really should have just left us alone." Behind him, the council chamber dissolved into arguments and accusations, the first cracks appearing in their centuries-old alliance. And far away, on a blue planet they had tried so hard to contain, humanity's hidden fleet was awakening. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a command center unknown to most of humanity, Admiral Lisa Reed watched multiple holographic screens with stern attention. Ambassador Stone's signal had arrived 20 minutes ago, and now the real work would begin. "Status report," she commanded, her voice cutting through the tense silence of the room. Colonel Parker, her operations chief, stood at attention. "All hidden bases reporting ready, Admiral. The Ghost Fleet is at 100% capacity, just waiting for your word." Reed nodded, her gray eyes reflecting the blue glow of the screens. For 50 years, humanity had prepared for this moment. While the Council thought they were watching a primitive species stumble through space, humans had been building in secret, preparing for the day when the truth would come out. "Show me the Council quarantine fleet," she ordered. The main screen shifted to show hundreds of alien ships jumping into Earth's solar system. Their sleek designs sparkled in the sunlight, weapons primed and ready to isolate humanity's homeworld. A small smile crossed Reed's face. "Begin Operation Ghost Protocol. Phase 1. Around the world, hidden doors opened in mountains, under oceans, and within asteroids. But no ships emerged. Instead, sophisticated holographic projectors activated, making Earth appear exactly as the Council expected. A planet full of primitive humans going about their daily lives, completely unaware of the alien fleet above them. "Ma'am," Colonel Parker reported, "the Council fleet is broadcasting their quarantine message. They're demanding Earth's immediate surrender and isolation." "Let them talk," Reed replied, walking to another screen showing the hidden shipyards scattered throughout the solar system. "Are all civilians safely evacuated?" "Yes, ma'am. Operation Underground completed 6 hours ago. All major population centers have been emptied into the subsurface shelters. The holograms are maintaining the illusion of normal surface activity. For 3 decades, humanity had built vast underground cities, preparing for this exact scenario. While the Council thought they were monitoring primitive television broadcasts and internet signals, humans had developed technologies that would make their heads spin. "Incoming transmission from the Council fleet," a young lieutenant announced. They're expressing confusion, ma'am. Their scans aren't matching their visual readings of Earth." Reed allowed herself another small smile. "Of course they're confused. They're trying to scan holograms with technology we reverse-engineered 20 years ago. Start Phase 2. Across the solar system, hidden sensors recorded as the Council fleet split up, sending ships to check each major city on Earth's surface. They would find nothing but elaborate projections. Not a single real human remained exposed on the surface." "Admiral," Colonel Parker called out, "we're detecting Council scout ships approaching the lunar bases." "Right on schedule," Reed nodded. "Activate the lunar defense grid." As the alien scouts approached the moon, they suddenly found their systems scrambled by technology they had never encountered before. Their sensors showed thousands of contradicting readings, making it impossible to get any clear data about what was really happening on Earth or its satellite. "Council fleet is showing signs of frustration," the lieutenant reported with a hint of satisfaction. "They've been trying to penetrate our false readings for 3 hours now." Reed watched as the alien ships moved in increasingly erratic patterns, trying and failing to understand what they were dealing with. Humanity's revenge would not come through brute force or direct confrontation. It would come through showing the Council exactly how wrong they had been about human capabilities. "Message from the Ghost Fleet commanders," Parker announced. "All ships report ready for Phase 3. Admiral Reed straightened her uniform and looked at the massive strategic display one more time. In hidden bases throughout the solar system, thousands of ships waited, vessels built with technology the Council didn't even know was possible. Soon, They would show the galaxy exactly what humanity could do when pushed too far. "Send the signal to all Ghost Fleet commanders," she ordered. "Operation Ghost Protocol Phase 3 begins in 6 hours. Let's show these aliens what happens when you underestimate humanity." Around her, the command center hummed with activity as Earth prepared to reveal its true power to an unsuspecting galaxy. The Council thought they had contained a primitive species. They were about to learn just how wrong they had been. The Council speaker stood in the emergency command center, its crystalline form pulsing with worried colors. The quarantine fleet had reported nothing but confusion from Earth for the past 6 hours. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Report from Earth sector," a builder controller announced, their mandibles clicking nervously. Still no clear readings. The humans appear to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Suddenly, alarms blared across every Council world simultaneously. The speaker's form flickered in shock as the reports started flooding in. Multiple space-time ruptures detected. Unknown vessels appearing near every major Council world. Energy signatures off the charts. Our weapons systems aren't responding. In the darkness of space near the Council's capital world, reality itself seemed to tear open. Through these dimensional rifts emerged ships unlike anything the Council had ever seen. Their hulls seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, making them look like moving pieces of the void itself. Aboard the Ghost Fleet flagship, Humanity's Dawn, Captain David Miller watched as his ship emerged from dimensional space along with hundreds of others. The Council's defensive fleet hung motionless before them, their systems completely overwhelmed by human technology. All ships reporting successful emergence, his tactical officer reported. Dimensional shields holding steady. Council ships are completely blind to our real decisions. Miller nodded, remembering the decades of preparation that had led to this moment. While the Council thought humans were struggling with basic spaceflight, Earth's scientists had cracked the code of dimensional engineering, creating ships that could slip between the layers of reality itself. "Begin Phase 3, he ordered. "Remember, no casualties. We're here to demonstrate power, not to destroy." Across the galaxy, the Ghost Fleet began its carefully choreographed dance. Human ships appeared and disappeared at will, moving through space in ways that defied the Council's understanding of physics. Every attempt to track or target them failed, as the vessels shifted partially out of normal spacetime whenever threatened. In the Council command center, chaos reigned. The speaker watched in horror as reports poured in from every member world. Human ships were appearing everywhere, demonstrating technologies that should have been impossible for such a primitive species. "How?" the speaker demanded, its crystalline form flashing with agitation. "How did they develop this level of technology without our knowledge?" On the main display, a human ship simply phased through a Council defense screen, as if it wasn't there. Another appeared inside a planetary defense perimeter, completely bypassing the most sophisticated security systems in the galaxy. Aboard Humanity's Dawn, Captain Miller received a new set of coordinates. "All ships proceed to Phase 3B. Execute the Constellation Maneuver." In perfect synchronization, the Ghost Fleet ships began moving in complex patterns around each Council world. Their dimensional drives left traces of exotic particles in their wake, creating massive, glowing symbols visible from the planet's surfaces. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we're picking up massive panic on Council channels. Their civilian population is in shock seeing our ship's display." Miller allowed himself a small smile. "Send the message to all Council worlds, text only, all languages." Across the galaxy, on every Council communication channel, the same message appeared. "You tried to keep us down. You failed. Humanity is no longer your experiment." The Council's mighty defense fleets could only watch as human ships danced around them like shadows, appearing and disappearing at will. Every attempt to fight back proved useless against vessels that could simply step sideways out of reality. "Message from Admiral Reed," the comm officer announced. "Phase 3 complete. Moving to Phase 4. Captain Miller looked at the Council Capital world on his main screen. Soon, they would learn that this display of military might was just the beginning. Humanity's true revenge would be far more subtle and far more devastating. Prepare for Phase 4, he ordered. Let's show them what else we learned while they thought we were playing with simple rockets. The Ghost Fleet moved into its next formation, ready to demonstrate yet another impossible technology to the increasingly panicked Council races. Humanity's hidden power was finally revealed, and this was only the beginning. Captain Mark Wells sat in his darkened command room aboard the stealth ship Digital Phantom, watching streams of data flow across multiple screens, while the Ghost Fleet kept the Council distracted with their impressive display of military might. His team was launching a different kind of attack. "Sir," his AI specialist Jack Turner called out, "we've successfully infiltrated the Council's trading networks. Their security never saw us coming." Wells nodded, his fingers dancing across the holographic keyboard. "Begin Operation Market Ghost. Let's show them how humans wage economic warfare." Across Council space, strange things began happening to their carefully controlled economy. Trade routes suddenly reported navigation errors, causing ships to arrive at wrong destinations. Banking systems began showing mysterious delays. Supply chains started experiencing unexplained disruptions. In the Council's central bank, the chief financial officer, a tall trader alien, stared in horror at his screens. "Impossible. The market stabilization algorithms are failing." But how? They're quantum encrypted. What the Council didn't know was that humans had perfected quantum AI systems decades ago, hiding their advancement behind a facade of primitive digital technology. Now these AIs, led by Wells and his team, were dismantling the Council's economic structure piece by piece. "Status report," Wells commanded, watching the chaos unfold. Turner grinned at his console. "Phase 4 proceeding perfectly, sir. Their trading systems are in complete disarray. The best part, they still think it's all just random technical failures." On the main screen, numbers flashed showing the growing panic in Council markets. Currencies were fluctuating wildly. Trade deals were collapsing. And best of all, Council members were starting to blame each other. "Sir," his communication officer reported, intercepted transmissions show the Builder Guild accusing the traders of market manipulation. "The traders are blaming the thinkers. It's working exactly as planned." Wells allowed himself a small smile. This was humanity's true revenge. Not destruction, but carefully planned chaos that would tear the Council apart from within. "Message from Sector 7, Turner announced. "The Council's largest shipping corporation just declared bankruptcy. Their stock prices dropped to zero in less than an hour." In the Council's trading halls, panic was spreading. Alien merchants watched in horror as generations of wealth vanished into digital nothing. Security forces were overwhelmed with accusations and counter-accusations as each race blamed the others for their losses. "Initiate Phase 4B, Wells ordered. "Target their resource distribution networks." Across Council space, automated farming systems began producing too much or too little. Factory production lines started creating slight defects in products, not enough to notice immediately, but enough to cause problems later. Power distribution grids developed mysterious inefficiencies. "Sir," Turner called out, excitement in his voice, "the Council's Emergency Economic Committee is meeting right now. They still have no idea this is our doing." Wells watched as the Council races turned on each other, each blaming the others for their economic troubles. Centuries of alliance were crumbling in hours, all without a single shot being fired. "Message from Admiral Reed," the comm officer announced. She says, "Well done. The Council's unity is breaking faster than expected." On his personal screen, Wells pulled up the next set of targets. Humanity's revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about showing the Council that their supposed superiority was built on foundations of sand. "Prepare for Phase 4C, he ordered. "Let's introduce some interesting glitches into their military payment systems." As his team worked, Wells thought about the centuries of council manipulation and suppression. They had tried to keep humanity down, thinking them too primitive to be a threat. Now they were learning that humans had become masters of a kind of warfare they never expected. "Sir," Turner reported with satisfaction, "Council military personnel are starting to report missing payments. Their logistics systems are showing critical failures." Wells nodded. Soon, the Council would learn that real power wasn't about ships and weapons. It was about controlling the invisible systems that kept civilization running. And humans had become very, very good at that. Intelligence Chief Tom Bradford walked through the holographic display room in Earth's hidden command center, watching the Council tear itself apart. Around him, three-dimensional images showed protests erupting on dozens of Council worlds. "Sir," his deputy director reported, "the Builder Guild has officially accused the traitors of sabotage. 3 Council races have already withdrawn from the Alliance." Bradford nodded, his weathered face reflecting the flickering lights of the displays. After 30 years in intelligence, he was finally seeing his life's work bear fruit. "Show me the Council chamber," he ordered. The main display shifted to show the once proud Council meeting hall, now a scene of chaos. The crystalline speakers struggled to maintain order as representatives shouted accusations at each other. The evidence of their anti-Earth conspiracy, carefully leaked by Bradford's team, had sparked a political firestorm. "You knew about the Earth suppression," a young race's representative shouted at the traitors. "You helped keep them down while selling them faulty technology." The traitor representative's blue skin darkened with anger. The builders were just as involved. They sabotaged human construction projects for centuries. In the corner of the chamber, representatives from newer spacefaring races watched with growing disgust. These younger civilizations had joined the Council recently, believing it to be a partnership of equals. Now they were learning the ugly truth. "Chief," the deputy called out, "the Centauri Alliance is making their move." Bradford smiled. The Centauri, a group of newly spacefaring races, had been quietly approached by Earth months ago. Now they were perfectly positioned to take advantage of the Council's chaos. On the main screen, the Centauri representative stood up. "In light of these revelations, the Centauri Alliance can no longer recognize the Council's authority. We stand with Earth against this centuries-old tyranny." The chamber erupted again. More representatives began standing, declaring their support for Earth or withdrawing from the Council entirely. The mighty alliance that had stood for millennia was crumbling in hours. "Sir," a junior analyst called out, "we're detecting unusual movement from the Council's military bases." Bradford moved to another display. "Show me." The hologram revealed Council warships moving in confused patterns, with their payment systems disrupted by Captain Wells' team and their chain of command in chaos. Military units were starting to act independently. "Message from Admiral Reed," his deputy announced. "The Ghost Fleet is in position to intervene if any Council forces try anything stupid." Bradford watched as more protests broke out across Council space. The truth about Earth's suppression was spreading quickly, and the Council race's own citizens were turning against their leaders. "Sir, look at this," the analyst called out. "Several Council worlds are reporting government overthrows. The younger generations are demanding alliance with Earth." The intelligence chief allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. This was humanity's true victory, not destroying the Council, but revealing its corruption to its own people. "Incoming transmission from the Builder's homeworld," his deputy reported. "Their civilian leadership is demanding the resignation of their entire Council delegation." On the main display, the Council chamber had descended into complete disorder. The speaker's crystalline form flickered weakly as it tried to call for order, but no one was listening anymore. "Begin Phase 5B, Bradford ordered. Release the complete archives." Across Council space, communication networks began broadcasting the full history of Earth's suppression. Every secret meeting, every sabotaged project, every manipulated event, all exposed for the galaxy to see. "Sir," His deputy said quietly, "Ambassador Stone's contingency message just activated. He's ready for extraction." Bradford nodded. Soon, Earth's ambassador would return, not as a representative of a primitive world, but as the voice of a power that had outsmarted the galaxy's oldest alliance. The Council thought they were containing a threat, Bradford said, watching the chaos spread. Instead, they created exactly what they feared most, a humanity that learned to fight back without mercy. Around him, the displays showed the old order crumbling and a new one taking shape. Earth's revenge wasn't just successful, it was reshaping the entire galaxy. Ambassador James Stone stood at the same podium where he had been arrested just days ago. The council chamber looked very different now. Gone were the smug faces of the old council leaders. Instead, representatives from across the galaxy watched him with a mixture of fear, respect, and hope. "The time for secrets is over," Stone announced, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. "Earth comes before you not seeking destruction, but change." Behind him, holographic displays showed the Ghost Fleet holding position near every major council world. The ship's dimensional drives created beautiful patterns in space, a reminder of humanity's hidden power. "For 3 days, you have watched your corrupt system collapse," Stone continued. "Your markets are in chaos. Your military is confused. Your people are angry. But Earth did not cause this. Your own lies did." The crystalline form of the former speaker sat in a containment field to one side, its surface dulled with shame. Next to it, other former council leaders waited for judgment, their centuries of manipulation finally exposed. "Ambassador," a young race's representative called out, "what does Earth want?" "Revenge. Control." Stone smiled, remembering his conversation with Admiral Reed just hours before. "What we want is simple: truth, equality, real cooperation, not manipulation." The chamber erupted in discussion. On the main screens, footage showed crowds gathering on hundreds of worlds, watching the broadcast. Humanity's moment of triumph was being witnessed by trillions. "Earth proposes a new system," Stone announced. "Not a council that rules from above, but an assembly where all voices are equal, where advancement is shared, not suppressed, where cooperation replaces control." From his private chamber near the podium, Captain Wells' team ensured the broadcast reached every corner of known space. The Council's communication networks, once used to spread lies, now carried truth to every world. "We have shown you our power," Stone continued. "Our ships can appear anywhere. Our technology surpasses your understanding. Our economic weapons brought your system to its knees. But we chose not to destroy." The representatives shifted uncomfortably, remembering how easily humanity had dismantled their defenses. Earth's restraint, they now realized, was not weakness but strength. "The choice is yours," Stone said. "Join us in building something better, or cling to the old ways and face the consequences. Earth will no longer be suppressed." Admiral Reed's hologram appeared beside Stone, her presence adding military weight to his words. "The Ghost Fleet stands ready to protect this transition. Any attempt to restore the old council will be met with immediate response." One by one, representatives began standing. The Centauri Alliance first, then the younger races, and finally even the old council members who had been kept in the dark about Earth's suppression. "We support Earth's proposal," the Centauri representative announced. "Let the new Galactic Assembly begin." Stone watched as centuries of corruption crumbled before him. The former council leaders were led away to face trial, their crimes against Earth and their own people finally exposed. "Message from Earth Command," an aide whispered to Stone. "Operation Ghost Protocol is officially complete. All objectives achieved." The ambassador nodded, looking out at the changed chamber. Humans had been underestimated, suppressed, and held back. Their revenge had not come through violence, but through exposing truth and demanding justice. "Let this be remembered," Stone announced to the gathering, "as the day when manipulation ended and true cooperation began. Earth extends its hand in friendship, real friendship this time, to all races who wish to build a better galaxy. Around him, the representatives of 100 worlds stood in agreement. The old council was dead. The new assembly was beginning. And humanity, once considered primitive and dangerous, had proven itself the most advanced civilization of all. The ghost has become real, Stone said quietly, and the future belongs to those who choose truth over power. 1 year after the council's fall, the newly constructed assembly hall on Earth sparkled under the morning sun. Unlike the old council's crystal dome, this building was open to the sky, its transparent panels allowing natural light to shine on representatives from every corner of the galaxy. Admiral Lisa Reed stood at the observation window, watching ships from 100 worlds move through Earth's orbit. The Ghost Fleet vessels were still there, but now they flew openly alongside their alien counterparts. Quite a change from last year, Ambassador Stone said, joining her at the window. Hard to believe we kept those ships hidden for so long. Reed nodded, remembering the tense days of the revolution. The council never understood what they created by trying to suppress us. They made humans paranoid, cautious, and incredibly innovative. Below them, in the main assembly chamber, representatives were gathering for the first anniversary session. The former council races now sat as equals alongside the younger civilizations, their old privileges replaced by true cooperation. Report from Captain Wells, Stone said, checking his datapad. The last of the corrupt council leaders have been sentenced. Their own people demanded the harshest punishments. Through another window, they could see Tom Bradford directing his intelligence team, now working openly with alien counterparts to prevent any new conspiracies from forming. The old secrets were gone, replaced by transparent cooperation. The builders have finished analyzing our dimensional drive technology, Reed reported. They're amazed. They say we accomplished in secret what they couldn't do openly in 1,000 years. In orbit, a Ghost Fleet ship demonstrated its dimensional jump capability to a group of alien scientists. What was once humanity's secret weapon had become a teaching tool, helping all races advance together. Assembly session starting in 5 minutes. The announcement echoed through the halls. Stone straightened his jacket, preparing to take his place as Earth's representative. You know, Reed said thoughtfully, some wanted us to completely destroy the council races, to make them suffer as we had suffered. Stone nodded. But this is better. Real justice isn't about destruction. It's about building something better from the ashes. They entered the assembly chamber together. The room fell quiet as Earth's heroes took their places. Around them sat former enemies and new allies, all working together under humanity's leadership. The first year of the new assembly has exceeded all expectations, the assembly leader, a young Centauri, announced. Trade is up. Scientific advancement has accelerated. And for the first time, all races truly stand as equals. On the massive screens around the chamber, images showed the changes across the galaxy. The Council's former homeworlds were transformed, their societies rebuilt on foundations of truth and cooperation. Earth's technology, once hidden, now helped all civilizations advance. We remember the day Earth revealed its power. The leader continued. We expected destruction. Instead, they showed us a better way. Stone stood to address the gathering. 1 year ago, we had a choice. We could have used our hidden fleet for vengeance. Instead, we chose justice. We could have destroyed the Council's worlds. Instead, we helped rebuild them. The chamber erupted in approving sounds from 100 different species. Even the former Council races nodded in agreement, their young generations especially grateful for Earth's mercy. The ghost of humanity's anger has been laid to rest. Stone concluded. Now we look to the future, not as rulers, but as guides, not as conquerors, but as teachers. As the assembly broke into applause, Reed watched the sun rise higher over Earth. The planet that the Council had tried to suppress now stood as a beacon of progress and justice for the entire galaxy. A new dawn indeed, she whispered, seeing ships from across the galaxy flying peacefully together. Humanity's revenge had not been destruction, but transformation. They had changed not just themselves, but the entire galaxy. And in the endless stars above, the future stretched bright and limitless before them all.